Good morning, everyone. It's now 8 a.m. on July 10th, 2025. It's a nice cloudy day. High temperature is only going to be 70. That's super nice because it's been hot and humid lately. So today we have a culvert to unclog. It's showing up on my map. It's 49 minutes away. All right, here we are at the beaver issue. We're gonna flag it. These beavers will have to be relocated because they're flooding out the road, but thankfully the road is built nice and rocky. Look at this, we got water trickling down here. You see the operator purposely didn't really touch this part of the road because they know the pipe is there. And you see it starts opening up again. You see they did minimal grading here. They know they got to get more fill. They know it needs trimming. And this right here is basically where the machine turned around and they haven't completed the loop yet. You see, I could drive a bit further, but now you got grass in the road that is pretty much up and over the hood. Look at that. I did drive down here once years ago, but when it's this bad, I'm not gonna risk what kind of holes could be in here. But yeah, this will be opened back up into a nice loop, then the trucks don't have to turn around. They go through the loop, get loaded, come right back out. So we're just gonna park down here. And those deer flies, they're gonna be on us. I see them chasing the truck. I don't even want to get out there with them. They're gonna be angry, and bug spray, they'll land right in it and bite you anyways. Deer fly don't care. All right, time to get the big high boots on, grab the rake and camera number 2. You can probably hear them. They're swarming me. There are so many deer flies. Probably got a good 30 of them around me. All right, we're gonna grab camera number 2, grab the rake. Time to get on out there. Even with the bug spray, some of them are still landing in my hair. They're bad. I was actually able to get revenge on them the other day. I tricked them. It wouldn't work today because the sun's not out, but the other day I stepped in the truck, allowed them all to get in with me, shut the door, trapped them all in there. Hour later, they all died in the sun. So this is a very rocky road. That's why there's not much of a mud issue. I'm the only tire tracks since the last rainstorm. I see some moose tracks. Those have been rained on. Even though we're on a road where probably no one's gonna come down here all day, still don't want to block the road because this is technically an active work site. So this is the pipe. About 2 years ago we were down here. Maybe it was even more than that. We got this thing going and I was playing with the discharge because it was coming out so hard. It's really fun. I don't see any beaver lodge, so this might all be secondary. They might have something further upstream, further downstream. We've got a bunch of water here exiting the roadway. And I see some debris right here, like disturbed dirt. Looks like the grader may have actually put its blade down and pulled back a little bit to help drain that. The beavers are building a dam along the road to make the pond deeper. They're building a dam right here. But the pipe is actually blocked somewhere in here. We'll figure it out. It's all fresh material with willow trees. This should drain fairly quickly. It's a pretty small pipe. It's only got about an 18-inch diameter, but that'll make a big blast. Let's go try to set the camera up out there, aimed back at it for a very good angle. We've got a lot of space to do that today. All right, everyone, camera number 2 is going. All right, camera number 2 got a good angle of the plunge pool. The downstream area might become underwater a bit. There's another beaver dam down there that's not currently being maintained. So this is all grassy because beavers had it underwater at one point. It could potentially fill back up with a sudden blast. At the moment, the dam is too leaky to hold anything, but we're about to give it a surge. All right, let's try to get this thing open. First, we got to figure out where the pipe is. Straight through here. Let's tap for it. Yep, it's right underneath us. It's still going out. Still going out. Still hitting it. Still hitting it. And there's a big rock. Did they just put that on top of it? Nope, that's not a rock. I actually want to move you in closer because I didn't realize the pipe went out there so far. It's not a rock. It's an entire root ball. And I think if I pull it out, that might actually be basically most of the plug. So all this beaver material here is actually contributing to making the dam higher. It's not actually blocking the pipe, it looks like. We got this here, root ball, which is inside the pipe. Ooh, a leech on it. Oh, that was it! That's basically all that was blocking it. Oh, there's a couple leeches on there. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. Feel down there at the pipe. Yep, I feel it. Let's widen that a little bit. Beavers are strong creatures to move some of this stuff. If I found just this and no other beaver material, I would have assumed the storm surge floated that. Oh, there's another piece of it. Another piece of a tree stump. Woo! I think we're actually about to create a whirlpool down there. Let's see. We're not fully open yet. Now this is only drawback purposes. They'll have it plugged again in 20 minutes when they find this. Let's hope it's a secondary pond and they don't come here often. This pond's pretty small, I don't see a lodge. And it can't really be hidden anywhere. the pond doesn't exceed into the tree line. There was an abandoned one years ago, but now it's just basically a grassy hill. If they were maintaining it, they wouldn't let grass grow on it to that extent. All right, I gotta reach in and feel what we got in there. A couple things I just gotta get by hand. All right, made it a little bit better. We got one more log in there I'm gonna try to pry out. It's moving. Yep, it's moving. Got it, got onto it. Ooh, now we got a whirlpool. Beavers really use the big stuff in there. I think we got it open now. Good amount of sucking pressure. We'll clean up the edges a little bit. Want to make sure the pond can drain down as much as it can. So we want to dig a canal out to the water, down to the depth of that pipe. Make sure the pipe is still there, open. Yep. We just sent a ball through of debris. Make sure we're 100% open. The water's kind of murky, you can't really see down there. Mostly because it's not sunny. But yeah, it's fully open. It's just a small pipe, so it's not taking as much water as some of the ones we do. But let me get out of here. We'll have a nice whirlpool to look at. That went really smoothly. Now the water on the other side will quickly clear up. I see something I want to get out of there. Nice. Not the dirtiest water. Really not that bad. There was a couple of leeches on the log, but if it was a sunny day, we would be able to see right to the bottom of that. That's natural oil from the swamp. As plant material degrades, it creates that. It's actually kind of cool looking. Look at those bubbles on that. Ew, that actually looks kind of cool. Getting a few close-up pictures of that. Just waiting for the whirlpool to start up. If we start a whirlpool, it could potentially suck all that nastiness in there all at once. But it's basically concentrating that. That film is coming off the entire surface of the pond. It's so thin, you can't see it. But as it's coming over, you see it slowly concentrating into that. Same way any oil's made. Rotten debris. Just waiting for that vortex to open up and take it all in. It's really strange where the vortex is. Opening of the pipe is there, but yet it's trying to over here. I gotta stop standing so still. I got mosquitoes landing on me. We'll be back over in a moment. Wow, look at the other side. Yeah, this is what I tried to block a few years ago. I just tried sitting in front of it. It was a hot day. I actually got in front of the whole thing and tried to block that. Whoa! Nice. Here's what the other side looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. Pretty awesome flow. Notice the current in the road has stopped. These puddles are about to stop. The pond's about to recede. Let's keep an eye on this vortex area for a little while. I really want to see that open up. In the meantime, I'll go grab camera number 2. I want to throw a rock in there. Watch that get sucked through. Ah, it just fell into the mud. I kind of missed the pipe. Let's get that in there. 1, 2, 3. There we go. We've got a smooth pipe with a lot of pressure. Ba-boom! It is a fun one. I still don't get why the whirlpool's over there. But that nasty slime is pretty cool looking. I guess the surface of the pond has already run out of oil. Because there's not as much coming over now. I actually want to move you in closer because I didn't realize the pipe went out. Nope, that's not a rock. Most of the plug. Pipe. Ooh, a leech on it. Oh, that was it. Oh, there's another piece of it. We'll clean up the edges a little bit. walk a few years ago. I just tried sitting in them. It was a hot day. I actually got it for the whole thing and tried to walk that. Whoa! All right. Amazingly, right now, the deer flies have been leaving me alone. We'll come back out here in like a half an hour. I just want to edit this, what we got together. We'll come out and this should be fairly empty. There's actually little fish in there too. So that'll get it down to the level of the pipe while still leaving a few feet out there. See, this is all beaver dam going along the whole road to make the pond deeper. There's the old beaver lodge. It still looks abandoned to me. Don't see any fresh material, it's overgrown. I do see a beaver's workshop over here though. Look at all that over there. Fresh material, they've been working over there. But I think they probably live upstream. There's probably another pond up there. I'll look at the map and if it shows something, we can go looking. Let's look downstream again. Still going good. Just about at capacity. What do we got here? Oh, we never find them alive. All right, here's a downstream view. Yeah, the plunge pool definitely got a bit deeper. Here's what it looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. The deer flies are starting to go after me, so I'm gonna go hang out in the truck for like a half an hour. We'll come back out, take a look at this before we leave. Should be down, showing the pipe on the entrance end by then. It's dropping fast. I've already dropped a good couple of inches. A lot of flies. I've literally got 50 of these things in all my windows. They're everywhere. The only way to get rid of them is put the windows down and start moving. At least they don't tend to bite when you're sitting still. They don't like to bite in the car. They're all focusing on just getting out. Look at that, we got some coyote tracks right there. And the deer flies are attacking again. It's been about an hour. We're walking down here again. Moose tracks, and maybe deer tracks. Maybe a baby moose. So we're walking down here again, seeing what kind of improvements have happened. Let's see how much that pond has dropped. I'm sure it's dropped a good amount over the last hour. The flies are attacking in full force. I gotta keep waving my hand over my head to prevent them from landing in my hair, because they'll bite you quickly after they land. So already, wow, a big difference already. Look at that. Wow. Here's what the pond looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. A good amount of drawdown. And that grass right there, a lot of that wouldn't have grown in the water like that. It eventually would get drowned out. Water grass can grow out of the water, but it can't be submerged. At least not that type. There's more natural swamp oils coming out everywhere. And the road itself, these puddles will eventually recede. The water has stopped crossing. Here's what it looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. We look out here. I just saw a fish jump. Look at the water lines on some of these logs. Big improvement from their dam. It's dropped back a bit. Ooh, a frog. But this like 2 feet of water will remain there. Here comes an airplane. After years and years of heavy trucks, even though it's been a few years, this is so packed down. The puddles will remain there for a little bit. But this was all trickling water here. That's all gone away. Wow. Wow, big, big difference. Here's what it looked like before we did anything. And here's what it looks like now. Here's what it looked like at maximum flow with the whirlpool. And here's what it looks like now. Whether or not that rock was intentionally placed there, it's a good idea for debris that's just naturally floating over to potentially get stuck before it enters the pipe. Now you see the pond's still going to drop down a little bit. That's still flowing into the pipe faster than it was crossing the road originally. Pond is not as deep as I originally thought either. Now the other side, still flowing good. The water's turned really clear again. Here's what it looked like at maximum flow. And here's what it looks like now. Pretty nice. I love when the dragonflies start coming around because the deer flies are terrified of them. Deer flies will typically leave you alone when there's dragonflies present. And I didn't notice this. I noticed a different one further down there, but I think the grader dropped their blade and pulled back a little bit to help reduce these puddles. You see, they've been doing road work, and maybe the next time we come out here, we'll have to check in another month or two. This whole road is going to be all redone. Real nice. Getting back up here on their beaver dam. Let's see, how muddy is this? Can we walk out there at all? I see a few little fish. Yeah, this is very, very deep silt. Can't really walk out here. But look at that bathtub ring where I was showing that beaver's little workshop earlier. Here's what it looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. Pretty good difference. Yeah, that's definitely not an active beaver lodge. They'd be out here angry, and they would have already started repairs. Pretty safe to say it's a secondary pond. Getting bit by those flies again. Wash my boots off a little bit. I better go step in the water so I can splash off some of that mud. This was a fun one. Now that water, now that it's more shallow, you can see how clear it really is. Wow, look at that thick silt. Sometimes even silt is just fun to play in. Because see how I'm moving it around here? That plunge pool's now gonna look filthy. Let's go look. Look at that big nasty cloud we just produced into the water. Awesome. Really, really good water drawdown today. All right, everyone, time to get moving again. I gotta park in the shade if I want to take another break. Now the sun is actually out and it's starting to get bad. You can't just sit in the truck now. Can't keep the windows open either. The flies will come in here and start attacking. No more flooded road. Just a couple puddles. These puddles are completely unrelated to the flood. The flood left a little bit of silt. The way that water's flowing, if the beavers do come back, I don't think it's crossing enough. It's gonna take a couple of days for them to get the water back where it was. But they will. The workers probably won't even be down here to start fixing this for another week. They're working a couple miles away, getting a different one in great working order first.